I've really got to think about this sometime. Anyway, welcome to the second Deneb Daily Grind. I'm not really measuring these anymore by day. I mean, I could, but sometimes it's just so little you can accomplish in a day. And I'm actually, not that this series is about accomplishing things per se, but mostly just, it's almost like a diary or a blog, but set in Minecraft while I just screw around, not doing either an event or a project, which are the other two main threads that this second season will comprise of. However, I did like the old format. Ooh, I have more. Very good. It's almost too loud now. Where are my tools? My tools are at the end. What am I doing? I made this. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Okay. I was a little confused. Sorry. So I need a couple of these. Probably this. I ought to use up this one first. Actually, I should. I don't have any buckets left. Let me just set this aside. There. Okay, so I do want to rant a little bit today. What do you think I should do with myself, actually? I should... Let's just mine. I need resources. This project here is going to be kind of large, and I'm going to need whatever I can get. So let's just do that. Anyways, it's Veterans Day here in America. And this is a confusing time for me because I am so very torn on the topic. And you're like, oh, groan. Yep, you should groan. And I didn't bring any light sources with me. Whoa! Let's just do that. Crappity crap. I didn't bring any light sources. Did I bring a... No, I didn't. Well, stink everywhere. Crap. Wasn't there... Ooh, I see you. Alright, so... That appears to go somewhere. Someone's been here. Somebody who doesn't mind bumping their heads quite so much as I do. So, I need strongly to make a very sharp distinction between those who volunteer to put themselves in harm's way and those who are putting them in harm's way. Because they have very... as a generality, because I cannot speak for any one of them individually, but historically speaking and statistically speaking, this is very true. There's a huge, huge, huge difference between them. One, and it's a really dangerous thing, and that's one of the reasons why I have such great difficulty. I can't just go with the flow and thank us for the troops and completely ignore the fact that we should never have been in any of these conflicts. Probably the last legitimate conflict we've been in was World War II, because since then, Vietnam, Korea was more about Russia than anything, and I can't remember, was the Gulf of Tonkin, was that Korea or was that Vietnam? But that was a false flag operation caused by us. We faked something as an excuse to get into that war, whichever of the two it was. Oh, someone's been busy, which probably means I'm under somebody else's territory. Might as well explore. But even our sudden involvement in World War II via Japan was not it was not a surprise. I mean, it was billed as one. However, we had been pushing and pushing and pushing Japan for quite some time. We'd been cornering them, we'd been embargoing them, but, giving them every reason to lash out against us, and then they did. And then all of a sudden, oh, the outrage, we have to go fight them. And then, of course, then we could get involved elsewhere as well. What am I seeing? I just came up that way. So even World War II. I mean, I would argue there is no legitimate war. There is only occasionally the legitimate defense against invaders. But since we have so often been the invaders of late, that largely delegitimizes our conflicts and legitimizes those who would try to, come on, defend themselves against us, even if we would call them, you know, unpleasant things. Oh, I see, I'm on Calixnar's place. Okay. Well, I have not been up here yet. Anyways, I don't want to go around saying, oh, you know, people we call terrorists are actually freedom fighters or anything, because what they're doing is pretty much just as bad, if not worse. You know, there's some who will disagree or agree with me depending which way you take that, but most of them are kids too. They were thrust into difficult, desperate circumstances by and don't get myself killed. Ooh, that's a nice looking plaza. Where'd that place come from, eh? That's pretty decent. Kind of wish Fabian would come back and play. But for the most part, these kids, these foreign, and not always foreign, frankly, kids, blowing themselves up, have had rough lives and have succumbed to the silver tongues of people above them, you know, Bin Ladens and folk like that, who have convinced them to do something that was never in their best interest. I won't say that I've found like 10 since I started looking recently. In fact, 2 that were so close together that you could look from one to the other. Oh, wow, nice. But the thing is, under different circumstances, these would have been well-adjusted, hopeful, I don't know about progressive, but, you know, contributing kids, young adults, who would never have thought to do what they did. And even they represent a tiny, tiny fraction of the overall population of the, you know, sort of ethnicity or religion that so many people here ascribe to them as the reason why they're bad. No, it's the people who manipulated them are bad. And frankly, in my eyes, people like Cheney and Bush are the same. They're manipulators. They themselves sat back. They never served. Even Bin Laden served as a freedom fighter in his day. Helped by us, by the way. That's a pretty good looking place. It's pretty good. I need to decide what's happening here. Regardless, like I said, the distinction for me is between those who volunteer to put themselves in harm's way and those who put them in harm's way for profit. And for dubious, nebulous, and oftentimes false reasons. You know, Gulf of Tonkin, Yellow Cake, weapons of mass destruction, all false. Absolutely false. Even, we like to say, remember the Maine. You know, I think it was some War of 18... No, that was like Canada. You know, where we had trying to get into, serve as an excuse to invade Cuba, I believe. And we ended up scuttling or sinking one of our own ships and accusing them of doing it. And thankfully, I need to research this because I'm misquoting horribly, but... Ooh, dang it. That didn't work. It would have worked if not for that lily pad. Okay, so, hello, Hoss. Are those your real feet? Those are funny looking feet. How come I've never noticed that before? Stop jumping. Stop jumping. Jumping is rude. Okay, so, yeah. The gist of it is, I want to be able to celebrate the people who put themselves in harm's way, and I'd rather they were doing that, you know, if they feel this desire to serve and to protect their fellow citizens, that's amazing. And we need them in so many other ways. And, you know, like right now, the Philippines have largely been destroyed by Hazen? I can't remember, I'm sorry. The super typhoon, so probably the largest on record in the Pacific. People need to go in there, put themselves in harm's way to help other people. You know, granted, this is what you might call the Coast Guard here, and some might look down on them as a lesser form of military, if not even, more like a civilian, people pretending to be military. Well, guess what? What they're doing is frankly more substantive, in my eyes, more valuable than the crap things that these other kids in the military are being asked to do, told to do, threatened into doing, sometimes coerced economically. When you see recruiters, they're not recruiting from the houses of rich guys. They're going to the parking lots of Walmarts and looking for people who are living on the edge and probably don't have the option of turning down an offer to put themselves in harm's way. So it's a really tough situation, and it's hard to talk about. And I have not served. I've not, I have like one person in my family, a cousin, who I'm not sure if it's ironic or not, but he's the son of someone who escaped from Vietnam just before we got involved, back when it was still France trying to imperialize northern Vietnam, or was it southern Vietnam? I can't remember. He escaped, he came here, he married into the family, he had 2 really good-looking and amazingly bilingual kids, and one of them now serves and defending us. And he's been deployed many times since Bush pulled his shenanigans, or whoever Bush was a figurehead for anyways. So you have to celebrate the fact that, A, he came back alive, and I don't know if he's over there again now or not, but that he did this thing that people shouldn't have to do. But at the same time, we should never have sent him. We should never have sent any of these kids. This was not a legitimate conflict. We didn't defend anybody from anybody. All we did was unnationalize some oil wells for ExxonMobil and ilk, and caused millions of people to get displaced, probably 100,000 to die, either directly or indirectly from our intervention, not including our own kids who died. I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm sorry. It's a tough topic, but I didn't even mind. All right, I'll leave you guys alone. Please come again tomorrow for another daily grind, and number 3. And visit my project and or event series, my XCOM series, my now ended but still probably entertaining Civilization 5 series. I think the next XCOM expansion is coming out tomorrow, so I haven't finished the first one. Oh well. I got more recording to do. You guys have things to do other than listen to me. So have a good night, and be good.